Good morning, everyone. My name is Susan, and I will be your host today for Soul School Network. This is Sunday, the 12th of October, and 2025, and it happens to be Thanksgiving Sunday in Canada. And so, what a wonderful topic for today. Gratitude is your superpower. And I'm delighted that our speaker today will be Michael Swinwood, who you all know. And to those of us who are tuning in on through the YouTube recording. Please do visit our website. You will learn more about Soul School Network and see also the recordings of our previous sessions. And so it is Thanksgiving, but I also like to say it's thanks living. And my teacher, Martha Creek, often speaks about this. It's like embodying gratitude. It's being rather than doing. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you, whether you're in Canada or not. There's not one day of the year that we can be practicing thankfulness and gratitude and appreciation and all of those things. So I would like to start with a meditation, and Koryanka is unable to be with us here today. So I thought I would play a gratitude meditation. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat simply because I will pause the recording so that we will not have to edit out the video because it is on YouTube. So I'm just going to put that, well, I'll put that in after. Let's just go ahead with our meditation. So I welcome you all back, and thanks to everybody who has joined us since we started the meditation. So I would like to turn it over now to our speaker today, Michael, who's going to speak about gratitude is your superpower. And I believe everybody here knows Michael, and so I won't take the time to do an introduction. But thank you, Michael, for your willingness to speak about gratitude. And we turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Susan. Good morning, everyone. I'm grateful to see you all here. It's an interesting topic and one which I'm quite familiar with in terms of life experience. In my own life experience, gratitude has come up as a theme over and over again in many different ways, in many different views. And I'm sure if you begin to reflect on what we're going to talk about today, that the same will apply to you. It's interesting if I just start with browsing the definition of gratitude. And this is a Webster dictionary definition. Gratitude, the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. Now, I'd like to just riff a little bit on a few of the words of this definition. First, the word quality. Quality is quite an unusual term in the sense of how you link that to the concept of gratitude. It is essentially a quality that you possess. It's within you. And it is something that you can make use of in order to enhance your daily existence. And then it says the quality of being thankful. And I want to concentrate on the word being. One of the difficulties I think that we suffer as human beings on the planet Earth is that we become human doings rather than human beings. And the difference between the two is pretty obvious. We get up in the morning, we have a long list of accomplishments for the day, and then the mind begins in the process of doing, forgetting that perhaps a better way of starting is to appreciate and be in gratitude for being rather than doing. The Hindu philosophy basically stands for the proposition that you are not the doer, that in essence, you are a vehicle. You are a vehicle for the light. You are a vehicle for your connection to spirit. You are in a sense invited to practice yoga, which means union with your soul. But unfortunately, we end up being human doings, and we don't set aside any time for the being part of ourselves, which is eternal. Your beingness is eternal. So when you're talking about gratitude and the quality of being thankful, it raises this whole concept of where all of this is taking place. And where it's taking place is in your mind and in your heart. And when we're human doings, we spend a lot of time in the mind and we think through that computer, and those thoughts produce action. What we have to learn in life and what we must come to realize is when we're thinking, we should be thinking from our heart and not from our head. As more and more we incorporate the concept of thinking through our heart, more and more will we expand the concept of gratitude, the quality of being thankful, and a readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. That meditation was quite beautiful because it pinpointed the idea of giving yourself a self hug and embrace, coming to the realization of what you are inside, the inner journey, the concept of what resides inside is the power of spirit. Each and every one of us has the flame of spirit within your heart. And within the third eye, we have the concept of our relationship to source. And how we bring about that relationship to source is through gratitude, coming to the realization that we should be grateful for our being, that we should be grateful for those things that are delivered to us, which the universe does all the time, I can guarantee you. The universe continually delivers, but it has something to do with what you think, because your thought produces reality. And therefore, gratitude is a superpower, because what it does is it brings about a change within your makeup. If you are grateful for your existence, if you are grateful for what you have, then it should end right there. There shouldn't be any questioning after that, because it puts you into a state of mind of giving and receiving. And it's a sense, an emotion, a feeling. You can go and browse on the internet and you can find all sorts of stuff on gratitude. Just Google gratitude and you'll find a few outlines. So I did that. And I'll just give you a few highlights here. A psychotherapist by the name of Dr. Carrie Howells said the following: there are 6 pillars of gratitude. They are relatedness, sincerity, empathy, self-regard, integrity, and humility. Now contemplate each and every one of those in relation to the concept of gratitude, and start with self-regard. Start with the understanding of being grateful for your existence, but grateful for who you are. Each and every one of us is individual. Each and every one of us is one with the soul. We're all one. But from an individual perspective, this is how magnificent the creator is. The creator is on an eternal basis, giving us the potential to be grateful for the existence of being. Last night, I walked outside quickly and looked up, and I'm stunned and amazed by the maze of stars representing existence, representing life, representing the creative's tapestry to demonstrate to you, each and every one of us, every day, every single day, the magnificence of the cosmos that you live in. And to be grateful to be given this opportunity of existence on the planet Earth, the schoolhouse, the place of learning, the place where we deepen our connection to spirit and our connection to soul. This is what we need to be feeding gratitude. And to feed gratitude expands the awareness of how precious life is, even when we think it can be so hard. If you contemplate what happens when you think about gratitude, or pause for 5 minutes to think about gratitude, you shift your consciousness. You shift your mind out of perhaps self-destruction into self-love, into realizing that you are a child of the creative force, that the creative force purposely put you here, and is asking you to feel the emotion of gratitude. The great thinkers of the world say, whatever we focus on grows. When we focus on something, it expands. You can talk to a successful businessman who make millions of dollars. They'll tell you that they have to focus on a goal and their intention, and then things grow and they expand because of what we're thinking about. It is said too that gratitude blocks toxic emotions such as envy, resentment, regret, depression, which can all destroy your happiness. So contemplate the act of gratitude as being something that brings to you a shift in the way that you think and feel on a daily basis. This is something that you can contemplate for even 5 minutes during a day. Imagine even starting your day when your eyes open and you go, I'm in gratitude for my existence. Now I have a personal experience that I can share with you in just a moment. I just want to give you a few more thoughts before I do that. Gratitude comes from the Latin word gratus, meaning thankful or pleasing. Well, guess what the word for thank you in Spanish is? Gracias. Every day in this country that we live in, gracias. So even that hint comes to you in the Spanish language when you say thank you to someone. When you're saying thank you to someone for something, it is what we talked about at the beginning. It's that thankfulness that you are exuding, that you are giving out, and it's coming from your heart. And it's because you've self-embraced, you've enjoyed yourself and your own existence, and therefore you shift your consciousness away from the egos who want to be fed: lust, anger, pride, envy, greed, laziness, and gluttony. Those 7 egos are screaming at you to be fed. And so we find all sorts of opportunities during the day to feed our anger, to feed our greed, to feed our laziness, etc. And the mind is controlled by those egos because of what we're thinking. We're allowing them to take precedence over yoga, union with the soul. And when you make that shift, when the needle starts going like this, your gratitude will increase because you will be so thankful for how you think and how you feel. This is what gratitude delivers to you. You must understand. Susan gave me a couple of hints. She threw them at me and said, you might want to talk about this. And so who am I to ignore Susan Hagar? So appreciation can be a practice, a proactive practice for being present, while gratitude is a powerful emotional response that deepens one's connection to a larger sense of abundance of a divine source. Oh my God, what a segue. I was just saying that. That was what I was just saying. Do you see how this idea of practicing gratitude daily would assist, not assist, would make the groundwork for the ability to be self-regulating through the doorway of gratitude, rather than concentrating on the things that bother me, annoy me, anger me, make me upset, do not allow me to see positivity, puts me into a situation of what the hell is this all about? How can I pull myself out of that spiral, which is negative thinking? And of course, the antidote is positive thinking. But that positive thinking is feeling, it's emotion and thinking combined together. You know, your emotions are what really are going to control your thinking. So therefore, you have to dig real deep, go in there deep, and find a place. Susan and I were driving to Cusco one day, and I was on our way to hyperbaric oxygen treatment. And all of a sudden, the word came into my head, equanimity. It just came into my head. And I turned to Susan and I said, oh my God, equanimity. I said, we've got to look that up. What does equanimity? I said, it must mean balance or something. And Susan came back right away with this, not a dictionary definition, but a much more powerful definition. And as I remember correctly, the most important part of the definition was equanimity stands on the ground of wisdom and freedom and is the protector of love and compassion. Wow. Equanimity. Wow. So what does that mean? Well, when I thought about it for a long time, I thought about the concept of being able to receive things in balance, not this way, not that way, but everything that comes at you. I mean, everything that comes at you, you receive with equanimity. And therefore, you're drawing upon your wisdom and your freedom. See, what happens in negative thinking is we think we're a prisoner. Well, guess what? You are. You are a prisoner. And you made the jail with your mind. And you put the key in the lock and locked the jail cell. And you forgot where you put the key. That's what's happening with the spiraling down of negative thinking. And gratitude goes out the window, by the way, because I'm not so happy about this, and I'm not so happy about that, and I'm not so happy about this. And therefore, I distance myself from the emotion of gratitude. And this also, Susan, thanks to Susan, I can't believe how these are segueing into what I'm saying. I'm grateful. Gratitude. It's a deeper, more profound emotion that can feel like a source of contentment and joy. Feel like a source of contentment and joy. Providing sustenance for one's spirit. Some spiritual traditions emphasize aligning one's thoughts and emotions with gratitude to open up to abundance. Oh my God. Oh my God, I just said all that too. And then this comes along. I just said all that. And this is the quote that I get from Susan. Bingo, bango, bongo. You want to talk about connection? Talk about connection, Susan and Michael. Oh, there's something to be grateful for. The connection between Susan and Michael. 33 years of connection, total connection. One's thoughts can finish the other thought. One is thinking what one is thinking. One says and does what one is saying and doing. It's unbelievable. I wish this kind of relationship on each and every one of you, that you could be so happy, that you could be so sustained. As you can see, it's an emotion. Now, you know, my own personal story recently, not mine, ours, all of you and Susan and I, had to do with my illness. And in January, well, I actually, it was last September. I had to have surgery. We thought I had a problem in my belly kind of deal, and I had surgery, but that wasn't the problem. And the problem was discovered to be a cancerous tumor in my throat. And that was discovered at the end of December or no, January, beginning of January. And so for January, February, March, um, almost into April, we were in Lima, and I was undergoing radiation and chemotherapy treatment for this cancerous tumor. And I was sick. I can tell you that. I was very sick. And I had my guardian angel, Susan, looking after me 24/7. And my son, Sam, and my daughter, Allura, and my daughter, Katie, and my granddaughter, Olivia, and the son-in-law, Alex. Um, we're a team.
And your now son-in-law, Sammy, was there too.
And son-in-law, Sammy, I'm sorry. Uh, anyway, I can get over this. It was a profound, profound experience. And the first thing I learned, and I want to share with you, is I learned surrender at a deep level, at a very deep level. I learned that what's in front of you has been placed there. You contributed with your mind, but there's a deeper purpose. There's something else at work. And that something else at work is spirit. And this is 24/7, okay? 24/7. Spirit is at work. And why do we end up here? We end up here because it's a schoolhouse. We're here to learn. And what we're here to learn is what we're talking about today. We're here to learn what gratitude means. What is gratitude? And how can we practice it? How can we practice gratitude? And so when I learned that concept of surrender, what's in front of you, surrender to it. There's nothing that you can do right at this moment in time but surrender. Because when you surrender to what's in front of you, you're now in a position to be with what's in front of you and solve. And spirit will help you solve it. 100%. Spirit will help you solve it. But you have to come from your heart, not through your mind. You must think through your heart. And that is where equanimity comes in, the protector of love and compassion. Now, when we have love and compassion, that's what I had that brought me through my treatment. I had love, I had compassion, I had people saying prayers for me. I knew it. I was aware of it. I was fully in it. That all around me, I was surrounded by love and compassion. I had to have a surgery at one point. I believe that would have been the biopsy. And apparently I had a bleed in the surgical procedure and I ended up in ICU. But when I came out of the anesthesia and Susan was standing right beside me, I had this overwhelming experience under anesthesia. And the experience was one of love. I was in this place where love was all around me. Everything was love. And I was just like completely overwhelmed by the feeling of what it was, what love was, why love upholds everything in the universe. And I had that experience. I mean, I couldn't speak. I was trying to tell Susan about this experience that I had just had. And what I'm saying is, okay, I had an illness. Spirit delivers gifts sometimes, but we don't like the package that it's in. And that's my experience of my illness. Why? Because it heightened and it made me more aware of why it's so important to assist people to begin to understand why it's so important for them to begin to think about spirituality, practice spirituality in order to become and remember who you really are. Remember, remember. member. All of us have experienced these experiences called life before. We're experiencing it one more time. And I'm going to say to you, you're experiencing at a higher vibration, at a most incredible time that of transition that's occurring on the Mother Earth. This is a gift. This is a deep gift that you have been given. You have been given the gift of participation in the most incredible transition that has taken place on the Mother Earth in a long time. The movement of the vibration from the third dimension to the fifth dimension is what's happening to the Mother Earth. She is now preparing her sacred birthing canal to accommodate the Golden Age. We are between the Iron Age and the Golden Age. You should be in great gratitude that you have been given this opportunity. You have been given the opportunity to assist, and the assistance comes from your practice. Your practice contributes to the raising of the consciousness and the raising of the light. Why? Because everything's invisible. What do you see? The way that you were created was invisible. The way that things happen to you are invisible. They are put together in another realm, and then they come into the physical. That's why the astral body is such an important aspect of our being, because that's the place of dreams. That's the place of another dimensional aspect of our being. And so you're so multidimensional and a complicated put together as an individual. Imagine just for a moment contemplating exactly who you are and going, oh my God, you know what? I love myself. I love myself. Because it's critical for you to love yourself if you want to love anything or anyone else. How can you love someone else if you don't love yourself? It's critical to your understanding. And this is where gratitude has such an important, why it's a superpower. Because gratitude shifts your consciousness out of me into I. Take the me away and stay with the I. I am being. I am that. Simple, real simple. Keeping it into a place of gratitude means that I shift my consciousness immediately. I'm so grateful for the illness that was visited upon me. I am so grateful for what took place around me. I am so grateful to be where I am right now at this moment. In this exact moment, I'm filled with gratitude for my existence, for my life. Sit, chat, Ananda. Sit, chat, Ananda. Eternal existence, eternal consciousness, eternal bliss. That's your existence. And yet we are so distant from the eternity aspect of it that we break it down into my little round box, my little round box that I put myself in, where I'm imprisoning myself. And I did it with my mind. Nobody did it to me. No one can do it to you. You are the author of your reality, and it is your mind and your emotions that bring about reality. If you want a different thing to happen, if you want something to change, change yourself. Change yourself. You're not going to change circumstances. I can tell you that right now. I can put $1 million down bet that any plan that you make to change circumstances is not going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is because you don't create the circumstances. You are on the chessboard of life, and you were placed there purposely placed on the chessboard of life. And there's a great chess master. And that great chess master is a divine source. And that divine source uses one thing and one thing only to sustain everything. Love. Love. So if you start with your own view, stop beating yourself up. Stop being upset about the previous relationship you had with Joe Blow from Navajo. Stop talking to yourself in a negative way. Stop it. Just stop it and change the way you think and feel. And that doorway is gratitude. Gratitude is the doorway. Because if you walk through there, what you're doing is you are participating in the protection of love and compassion because you're practicing it. You're not just thinking it, you're not just talking about it, you're practicing it with your mind and your heart. This is happening. Susan and I traveled back from Canada. We had a seamless trip. It was unbelievable. It was just like boom, boom, boom. And Susan, who's the master of preparation and the master of all things being settled and set up and scheduled, and away we go, had not booked a hotel for Lima. And she didn't know why until we looked at the news the night before and find out that there's a transportation strike in Lima and the place is in chaos. And we had 3 doctor's appointments set up and the whole 9 yards. We're supposed to be there for 3 days. And no, like that, we changed it. No, we changed. We take a flight. Right as soon as we get to Lima, we'll go to Cusco. Never mind all that stuff. Home. We were home at 2:00 in the afternoon. Were we in gratitude or what? But did we set up the circumstances? No, we didn't set up the circumstances. The circumstances were there. The chess master had placed it in a particular way. And our guides impulsed us in a particular way, particularly Susan, who would normally have done that 3 weeks ago, but didn't. Because when you open yourself up to gratitude, you open that line of communication between you and your guides. The line of communication between you and your guides opens up because love and compassion is being practiced. And who are you practicing on? You. You're practicing on you, not your next door neighbor, not your partner, not the dog. You. So when you begin to do this, you're going to find some incredible things happen. We walked through the door. I don't think we were here an hour. And somewhere in the conversation, Susan says, "Oh, I've got that fabulous book. I think you'd be interested in looking at." And so I looked at it. It's called Oneness, the Simple Self-Help Secret for You That You Were Never Supposed to Know. Oneness, the simple self-healing secret that you were never supposed to know. And it's by Li Chen, L-I, and then Chen is C-H-E-N. I highly, highly recommend that you get this book. It's 124 pages. As soon as I picked it up, I couldn't put it down. I read the 124 pages in lickety-split, boom, bang, bang. And the real important word in that title is simple. That's the real important word in that title of that book. Simple. No dogma, no teaching, no physically difficult exercise, no physical, nothing, anything. In the end, it represents standing, simply standing in a relaxed position. They say the best practice is going to get you to 1 hour, but you start with 10, 15 minutes, perfectly still, standing, relaxed, eyes wide open, taking in the horizon, and allowing the chi, the energy that's all around you, which is spirit, to flow from the Mother Earth into your body, all the way through, all the way through, all the way through. And you, in essence, he gives in this book, it's not just him, actually. For my daughter, Allura, it's co-written by a psychotherapist, not a physiotherapist, but a psychotherapist, Mei Fox. So it's the authors are Lee Chen and Mei Fox. The reason I'm concentrating on this right now is because I'm serious. If you read this book and you're not changed, sue me. I'm a lawyer, so I can take it. The thing is, it's so insightful, and it's so straightforward, and it's so simple. It's not like you have to go and meditate for 4 hours and you'll get it. They're basically saying, I'm going to give you this exercise that if you practice it, you're going to get the benefit of meditation that you've been practicing for years, which we have. And what this book offers in terms of an everyday simple practice that you can all do, then what I'm talking about has made a lot of sense. What I'm talking about is in terms of the gratitude being the doorway through which you walk into abundance. I'm guaranteeing you that you're going to walk into abundance. As a lot of you know, Susan and I have the painting La Rencontre sous la Lune. And those of you who have not seen the painting, it looks like an elder on a path, and there's stars littered on the path, and in the distance is a moon, and it's a surreal forest, and it looks like an elder looking in a branch in a tree, and it's an owl looking at the elder. And for us, what that painting represents is it was a foretelling of our life together, a foretelling. I mean, we'd only been together maybe 3 months at that point. And what this painting was depicting was our involvement with elders on the spiritual path. That's really been our whole life, 33 years, has been what that painting foretold. Looking for wisdom through the eyes of the elders, where wisdom resides. Where did they get that wisdom? Gratitude. That's where they got the wisdom. They're in gratitude of who and what they are. Oh, well, there you go. There's the painting. So as you can see, the little brown object in the tree branch on the right, that's the owl. That's the elder, because in the painting you can see a ponytail protruding. And it's a staff of the elder. You can't quite see it, but on the path it was littered with stars. And there's the light in the distance. And so really, the meeting under the moon, and this is by a famous French Parisian artist named Baumgarten. And Susan won this painting in an auction, in a celebrity thing that we were at. Anyway, bottom line I'm saying to you is, okay, how uncanny is it that we were given this sign very early of what was to come? That this was going to be our life. That this was what we were going to be pursuing. La rencontre sur la lune. You know, we met under the moon. And then we were given this sign. We're not the doer. We're not the doer. Hindu philosophy emphasizing that aspect is critical to your understanding, because we're caught up with the idea that we're the doer. We think, oh yeah, I got a list, I got a plan, way you go. But really, when your existence is spirit given, when your existence is spirit given, then your relationship to spirit should not be ignored. Don't ignore it. Do something about it. Do. You're not the doer, but this way you place yourself into the receiver. You become a receptor. That's what you're intended to be. You're intended to be one who can accept the 7 cosmic rays that hit the Mother Earth. And that those 7 cosmic rays, you can work with them. You can come to understand what they're about. You can come to understand why there are 7 cosmic rays emanating onto the Mother Earth. It's amazing how the number 7 comes through everything, right? 7 egos, 7 cosmic rays, 7 notes of the musical scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This is the rhythm of Om. 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 Imagine being able to take everything as Om. Most importantly, the annoying things, the ones that get you upset, the ones that anger you. Imagine being able to immediately Om, because that's the vibration that the Mother Earth in love operates on. Om. So when you're one with nature, you're the natural being. You're one with nature. You're a natural being. Now, what is Mother Earth doing right now? Mother Earth is exploding from the inside because she's about to change. The volcanoes are alive everywhere. The earthquakes are increasing everywhere. Mother Nature is showing that she's in control, that she's in control. And Babaji, I've spoken about before, but you know, the name of his book is Babaji Holding the Lightning, Standing Still. And I contemplate that just for a second. Holding the lightning, standing still. That's pretty awesome in terms of the relationship to the light and the ability to hold the light standing still. Must mean a lot of a very powerful being. And that very powerful being is saying to you and I, this can happen for you. This is your heredity. This is what your inheritance is. You too can, through your mind, transition up, go up. You can make the elevator go up. The only button you press is gratitude. Press gratitude, and suddenly the world will change. What are you grateful for? Are you grateful for yourself? Are you grateful for your partner? Are you grateful for your on and on? What are you grateful for? And if you can say, I'm grateful for my existence, then that's going to open a key to a transformation of the way that you're going to think. And this is critical to your unfoldment. My unfoldment, Susan's unfoldments, everyone's unfoldment comes through gratitude. So I'm grateful for this time. Thanks for listening. Oh, I forgot. I got a poem. And this is a Zen poem. If there is light in the soul, there will be beauty in the person. If there is beauty in the person, there will be harmony in the house. If there is harmony in the house, there will be order in the water. If there is there will be order in the nation. If there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. Blessed be, and may it be so.
Thank you, Michael. You've given us a lot to think about this morning, and I am grateful for all that you shared and for who you are. I would like to open it up to our friends here this morning who may have some thoughts to share or questions they may have. I'll just start out by saying that a gratitude practice, which I think is very common in spiritual circles, um, sometimes eludes people. Um, and it has for me. I'm not a big journaler. However, what I've learned is that these gratitude practices of journaling, often people will, at the end of their day, journal about all the things they're grateful for. And studies have shown that it's too general to really impact them in the way they're hoping. And that the really best practice for gratitude journaling would be to journal about one thing you're grateful for. And that one thing or person or circumstance, you write down 5 points. And the reason is that, as was said, the dividends are in the details. So then rather than journaling about all sorts of things at a general level, you would journal about one thing, one matter, whatever, and then very much the details. And this really grounds the gratitude within you so that you can begin to embody the emotion that it is so that you're not too general. So that's just something I wanted to say because, again, because gratitude journaling has eluded me in some ways. The other thing I wanted to reflect on is the idea that there's a lightness around appreciation. Appreciation embodies a sense of value of what you're looking at. And there's a lightness to that, whereas gratitude holds a deeper emotion. So I only just want to clarify that for ourselves in terms of our practice, because gratitude really equals miracles. And this is the key piece, I think, in your message. Well, one of the pieces, Michael, is that there's emotion that comes and it's creates thoughts, and then our thoughts are creating our reality. So holding this emotion of gratitude does create miracles in our lives, things we could never have planned. We wouldn't have even known would be good for us, even, like Michael's illness, for example. And so then another thing people will do, maybe people who don't like to journal, is they'll have like a rock that they might put in a place they walk past often in their day or at their bedside table, something like this, so that when they see that one very specific rock, they just put it in their hand and they take a moment and think very specifically about this one, whatever one thing they can be grateful for. And it's the rock that reminds them, oh, yes, gratitude. And it's an easy reminder and it doesn't require, a journaling session per se that sometimes we just don't take the time for. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation. And I'd love to hear what others might want to reflect about gratitude. We've got a quiet group this morning. Anybody have any thoughts to share? Sheila, maybe you unmuted.
I do. I do. I'm just trying to unmute me. Sorry. I'm grateful for Olivia.
Hi,
Yeah.
Olivia.
Hi,
Hoping,
hi,
Hi,
Olivia.
I
Olivia.
was hoping that that was where you were going. I woke up today and I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to jump on today, but I just woke up with this sense of gratitude, and we have a very quiet Thanksgiving.
Oh, you muted. Sheila, you muted.
Sheila.
I
There
know.
she
Sorry.
is. We got
Sorry.
her.
Sorry. Sorry. I was trying to bring me up, but you don't want to see me anyway, so that's okay. Yeah, no, I got up and, we go to mass, so I did that. And it was, we have a new priest and he's lovely. He's Nigerian. And it was just lovely. It was all gratitude. And I thought, oh, good, I got to remember to jump on here today too. So anyway, I'm feeling it. Thank you. Thanks for that, Michael. That was amazing.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you,
Needed it.
Sheila. Yeah, thanks for being here. And I think really we all benefit from reminders because we get caught in the busyness of life and don't realize that this superpower is right in our hands. Like it's not something you have to go and, do. It just requires, where's your focus? Where's your attention? How are you spending your energy? So I'm grateful for the reminders this morning and for Thanksgiving itself, because it's not for me to know what is the experience for other Canadians. And even if it is only one day a year, that people take a moment to, show appreciation and gratitude to their family members, then good. Then it's the one day of the year. And if that ends up to be 365 days of the year, then excellent. And, disappointment comes from unmet expectations. So I'm not going to hold an expectation that this is necessarily going to be my experience. And I would like to surrender to all the ego activity and everything else that keeps me from gratitude, because gratitude equals miracles, and we all need miracles in our lives. And they're right there for us. It's not a magical event. Magic is your life. Magic and miracles are your life. It's about where you're focused, where you're tuned. And we can tune each other up, just, for example, by being here this morning, to remind each other to talk about these. And it is the foundation for the things, as Michael spoke of, equanimity. All of these things are the ways that our lives are nourished and we end up having the life of our dreams. And so that's what we wish for ourselves, for each and every one of you.
I just want to add one little thing, if I can. In the book I told you about, the secret they didn't want you to know. The exercises I was saying to you is just standing. I mean, that's it. You're standing. That's it. But there's a very critical piece to the standing, and it is that you put a smile on your face, so that if you're standing, let's say for an hour, you're smiling. And I want to tell you how incredible this is, because when we were finishing up our treatment in the last month, Dr. Miranda, who was our oncologist for radiation, she kept saying to me, "Sonrisa, Michael. Sonrisa, Michael. Smile. Smile." Like a precursor, a hint of what I was about to read, over the last few days, with this critical feature of when you're standing there, that you smile. Think of that. Because smiling, like immediately, look at that. Look at Olivia, for crying out loud. Look at the smile on her face. It's magic. It's magic. That's what it is. Sonrisa. Sonrisa. And so when we smile, we change the whole complexion. So when you're doing this exercise of standing, and you've put a smile on your face, you've had to change the way you're thinking. It's just an automatic. It's an automatic. Sonrisa, Michael. Sonrisa. That's what I want to say.
Thank you, Michael. I don't suppose we're maybe smiling goes very well with gratitude. Being thankful, being appreciating, being grateful, we smile. And so nice to see everybody here this morning. Hi, Olivia, sweet girl.
Hi, sorry, I didn't know we were already unmuted.
It's okay, honey. Hi. We're grateful for this little girl, Olivia.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey. Hi. So I want to say thank you to everybody for being here today. I know that with our online world, there's 1,000 places you could have chosen to be, and you chose to be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I invite you to go to our website, soulschoolnetwork.com. Please do send us any feedback you may have. We appreciate any donations you may have so that we can cover our expenses. And we see you in 2 weeks. Next will be an open mic topic to be announced. Look forward to seeing you then, and I'm wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving weekend. Much love.